The following program contains adult language, poor taste in jokes, racial slurs, political slurs, slants, and all sorts of things that if you are sensitive and have a delicate constitution, you should probably go watch Teletubbies. You were warned.
Bam! Hey kids, welcome back. It is a wonderful Sunday morning, gloomy as hell, but it's supposed to be halfway decent. And I'm drinking coffee because it's not classy to drink alcohol before 10 a.m. So anyway, this is going to be a quickie little project. It shouldn't take me too long to revisit or rebuild the rescue boat tug. So we've all seen the rescue tug. This is it right here. This is basically how the Zip Kit's tugster, well, barring the paint job, should look. Okay, we got the standard wheelhouse. I'm going to take this off here. Standard wheelhouse, my little 3D printed buoy and rope for my towing, padded bumpers for the front for pushing, my little crazy pirate in the front, and we've all seen this guy run. I have converted him to 3S. So it does work really, really well. I love it. But when I was building the Nitro Tug, which still is not done, by the way, I'm waiting for a part in the mail to get the engine right. Hang on. Here's the Nitro Tug. Blink. All right. So now this guy, most of you have seen as well. So from here, this is Zip Kit's tugster, and this part of the lid right here is Zip Kit's tugster, but the rest of it was all designed and 3D printed by me. And then I epoxy coated it and just did some airbrushing details and whatever else. So I like it. It turned out really, really cool. When I 3D printed the ropes, they're actually all like this, and then I just heated them up and bent them into different shapes. Like that, and put some dowels in there so it looks like hangers. This was a geek thing. And the engine that I put in didn't work well. I put in that super tiny, where is it? This thing. Super tiny little engine, did not work at all. Like I said in the video the other day, this has been a trial and error thing. Now the boat turned out great, but the engines, not so much. So I'm actually putting in this old school 3.5 K&B. This really looks like it would be in a tugboat. You know, it's got the dual exhaust. This is an air carb, an exhaust carb, actually, what they call. So you're only sucking in the air here, and you're actually controlling it right here. So your fuel's coming in there. It's a very bizarre. I'm not used to this, but I had it running on the bench the other day. It runs really well. I don't think it's ever been run. It's very vintage, but I'm waiting for the shaft coupler to come. Waiting for the shaft coupler to come in the mail so I can go ahead and mount this in there, and that should work. The reason the other engines didn't work very well, it's kind of my own fault, because I really want it to be able to pretty much idle and go forward. I don't want to have to goose it and launch it like a hydroplane, because it's a freaking tugboat, right? So need a little bit more power. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about the original tug, the one we use for rescue. The Nitro Tug is not going to be used for rescue. It's just a little nitro boat that's fun to play with. No big deal. But there was a couple things. I really liked how the 3D print and all that stuff turned out. It looks really, really cool. So I'm doing the same thing with, I'm going to basically, let's grab the top. So basically, I'm going to cut the wheelhouse off, probably sand it down so it's gone. I'm gonna get rid of our little pirate guy. And then I'm going to mount all the 3D print stuff on here as well. And do it basically, it's gonna have a different radar on it. It's gonna have a couple little different things, but all in all, it's gonna be very similar. But I'm making the wheelhouse a little bit shorter, and I'm moving it farther up. But it's the same width, same height. It's just going to be moved up a little bit farther than the Nitro Tug is. The other thing that I'm putting in there is I wanted to put this towing buoy, and I'll probably paint this. I might not. It's easier to see, I guess, in the water. I wanted to put a winch, a radio-controlled winch, on this boat. Now, I want it to work. I want it to be variable speed, and I want it to go both directions. Will I actually use it? I'll probably use it more just for winding up the rope when I'm done, honestly. But it's a gloomy day, fall's coming, and I'm fucking bored. So, you know, I'm doing stupid things I don't need to do. So I made one. So I 3D printed a little winch wheel here. which I probably need to do a better deal on, but it's going to be covered in rope, so I don't really care. These big structural things, I usually just print at a resolution of 3 and don't really care. Then I took a 5th scale. This is like something you would steer a really big gas boat with or turn like a big 5th gas car with. I took this and I hooked it. I basically, servos have a stop pin in the bull drive gear, okay, which is the gear that connects to the horn, and so it only goes a certain amount and stops, certain amount and stops. So you take it apart, you grind that pin off, then you take the potentiometer. The potentiometer is basically telling the servo where it's at. You take the potentiometer shoe off, so it basically doesn't turn anymore. Then what you do is you plug the servo in to the receiver with your transmitter on, and it'll just start spinning. Then what you do is you manually turn that potentiometer down to 0 just until the servo stops, and then you glue it, and then you stuff it in the bottom and never worry about it again. So I'm going to show you how that works. So now I just have this on an arbitrary channel. Which one is it? Channel 3. All right, we're going to plug in our power to our receiver. See how it's turning? Indefinitely, clockwise. Now, when I turn my knob on my transmitter, now, this would probably be better on a switch because I could just switch it forward, switch it back, but I might replace that pot with a switch. So we can turn counterclockwise and you can slow it down and go the other way. Indefinitely, just rotates forever, okay? So then the spool will just glue onto there. This is going to be below deck. The only thing that's going to be above deck is the horn, and then the spool is going to go on there. We're going to have a string guide, and it's just going to winch it like that. Pretty cool. And it's just going to be on the back just like that. Not a big deal. So that's kind of neat. I do need to put it on a switch though, because it's too hard. This is not a detented pot, meaning it doesn't stop in the center. So I'm either going to swap the pot out with a detent, because I do like the variable speed. If I put a switch in here, because this is a cheapo radio, it doesn't have, it's not like a Tyrannus or a stick radio where you have all the switches. It doesn't have a switch. It does right there, but it's a on off. It's a one way. I need a two-way. But even then, if you put it on a switch, you're going to lose the variable speed thing, which really isn't that important, but just for neatness, So I might just switch this pot out with another one that has a detent, so I can just find the center without thinking about it. Anyway, that's that. The other neat thing I'm doing, just for fun, is I'm putting a water cannon on the top. I was watching a video the other day about this little cheap Japanese tugboat you can buy off Banggood for like 30 bucks. It's got a little water cannon. I thought, wouldn't that be fun? And I've got a lot of these water pumps that I use for internal cooling on the gas boats, and I had one left over, and this one's all wrapped up right now. I can show you what it looks like. This one I actually used as a siphon to, like, if a boat took water on, like if it got water in Rockstar, I would just stick this in there and then hit this button, and it would spit the water out here and suck it in there. So what I did was I designed and 3D printed a cannon with a stand and a mount and all this other stuff, and the hose is going to come up, and I've never done this before, so it may not work, but I made on the inside of the barrel, I made it so it goes from, I think, 8mm to 3 or 4mm, and it tapers, so it should build pressure and actually squirt pretty far. So this will be mounted in the boat on an RC switch. It's going to go into channel 4, and then probably hitting this button here, it will turn on the water cannon and turn off. Yes, this is what JJ Rotogeek does when he's bored on a gloomy day. So that's really about it, I think, for the... Oh, and I am putting LEDs in it. The Nitro Tug on each corner has really bright LEDs right there. And I made these little running light lenses. And I had ordered 2 sets of these wired LEDs. And I had an extra one, so we're going to go ahead and put LEDs in there. And plus, this original Tug, the Rescue Tug, has the LEDs these are above water. They flash red, I think, and these are actually underwater. So those are still going to be there. But then we are going to repaint this whole top plate, because this is the only part that's really getting modified. get rid of this thing. And we're going to change a bunch of the guts, obviously, on the inside, but and then I'm going to paint this whole thing so it's not this gay-looking overspray that I originally did. But yeah, I am going to have to take a Dremel and literally cut this whole wheelhouse off because it's epoxied twice onto there, and then probably take to the belt sander and clear the top. Believe it or not, it's not that much work. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. And I'm hoping to have a big chunk of it done today. The print's what's taking a long time. Everything is printed except for the wheelhouse right now. I print in 3 sections. That one is printing right now. That'll be done later this afternoon, and then the roof will take another 4 hours. So, and the tires. So, might not be totally finished till the end of the week because I got some business trips to do this week. So anyway, that's it. I just thought I'd share that with you, and it's not going to be a build video. I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and then I'll do a demo of it after it's done. It's still going to be the rescue boat, but now it's going to have a powered winch, and it's also going to be able to put out fires if my shit catches on fire. And that's a joke, obviously. Pretty sure my aim's not that good, but it'll be fun just to squirt people with when I'm at the lake. So, till the next time, kids, keep shining that up. Bye.